State regime media, which calls itself Fox News, continues to collapse live on air for us all to watch, and the MeidasTouch network is living rent-free in their head. Yep, the MeidasTouch reports on Donald Trump's deteriorating physical and mental condition is now at the forefront of a lot of corporate news reporting on Donald Trump as well. People were paying attention at Donald Trump's cabinet meeting that he had over the fact that Donald Trump kept on falling asleep over and over again, as the MeidasTouch pointed out before. Now, on state regime media, their dear leader can't be falling asleep during cabinet meetings, so they had to come up with ways to justify it. They were like, Thomas Edison had his power naps. Getting MRIs randomly over and over again, that's just part of an executive's schedule now. Yeah, it's normal for executives just to get MRIs of their abdomen. Newsflash, no it isn't, but I want you to watch. Whereas on MeidasTouch, we have Dr. Vin Gupta, who leads Meidas Health with a fact-based scientific approach, bringing in real expertise. In contrast, on Fox, they've got this guy, Dr. Mark Siegel, who just spews so much ridiculous dear leader propaganda. Kim Jong-un in North Korea is jealous. I want to show you what went down on state regime media. Before I do that, just a reminder, hit subscribe on the MeidasTouch YouTube channel right now. State regime media, known as Fox, is going after us. Donald Trump is going after us. Corporate News was going after us. And now we're leading the way of all independent media. Thanks to your help, we're trying to hit 6 million subscribers this month. You may think you're subscribed, but you may not really be subscribed. So make sure you hit subscribe now on this YouTube channel. All right, Laura Ingraham with Dr. Mark Siegel. Watch what Ingraham says here. Here, play this clip.
Look, there was a moment where, again, social media goes crazy and the left is going crazy after totally deep sixing any concern about Biden for 4 years. And they went crazy because at one point today, when Rubio was talking, President Trump had his eyes closed for, a few seconds. It seemed like a few seconds. But they went crazy. Like, he's sleeping during meetings. Like, your reaction tonight?
I think he seems extremely sharp, and I think this whole thing is a bait and switch. They don't like that he's going after the auto pen stuff because Biden doesn't look like he even knew that he was signing with an auto pen, let alone what he was signing.
Yeah, I think he's extremely sharp. Okay. Then Laura Ingraham says, we all know that Donald Trump doesn't sleep. He's a beast. He's a machine. And don't we all just close our eyes during meetings? Isn't this normal? To which Dr. Siegel goes, this is what Thomas Edison did. Trump's like Edison. Okay, here, play this clip.
Well, we all know that he doesn't sleep. I'm not a big sleeper either. So, I, on occasion, I close my eyes if someone's talking for too long, I admit it. But big deal. I mean, the results speak for themselves. What President Trump does on a daily basis. If you sleep 3 hours or 4 hours a night, you're probably going to close your eyes, whether you're 79 or 49. I don't think that matters.
Yeah, President Trump, Thomas Edison believed in the 10-minute nap, by the way. What would they say? We wouldn't have electricity, right?
Oh, my goodness. Well, Dr. Siegel, we will continue to see them fixate on this after everything they did to cover for Joe.
And you can see that the MeidasTouch network in our reporting about Donald Trump's physical and mental deterioration is clearly getting in the head of state regime media propagandists like Laura Ingraham and this Dr. Mark Siegel. Because here's what Dr. Siegel goes. He goes, so they keep on asking, why is he having an MRI? This is just what executives do. Here, play this clip.
They're going, oh, why is he having an MRI? Well, because that's, by the way, what executives do now. They have MRIs of the heart. Dr. Fuster at Sinai is doing them on a lot of people as screening tests. And he had some leg swelling. They went after that. So he had an MRI. Looks normal. But Biden, by comparison, was not normal. He had medical problems. He had prostate cancer. He had cognitive problems.
It's actually not what executives do. May I just show you the MeidasTouch reporting? Because we have real, qualified, objective doctors on the MeidasTouch network. Here's what Dr. Vin Gupta told me. So here you go, Dr. Siegel. Why don't you take a look at this? Here, play this clip.
I had a chance to speak to a lot of radiology colleagues at the best academic institutions in the country over the last 24 hours because, I want to make sure that we're getting the very best expertise across specialties for Meidas and Meidas Health. No one is aware of getting an MRI of the torso, which is what the results that were summarized in the physician's note that Carolyn Levitt read out. It doesn't exist. They had justified getting an MRI of the torso for primary screening of some sort of medical process, because he's older. And, that doesn't exist. I'm not aware, my colleagues across the spectrum in radiology are not aware of that type of screening process. You just don't do it. And I think the fact that they reported only the cardiovascular and abdominal findings is odd. Why? Did he get a full body MRI because that's in vogue amongst a certain subsegment of society, and they just reported the cardiac and the abdominal findings? Okay, then why did they leave out everything else? Did they just get a torso MRI? Why? There is no clinical guideline that exists. And again, these are the most credentialed radiologists in the country. I challenge anybody to find a group of folks that is more credentialed and more accomplished and knows, what to do and when to do MRIs than the folks I've spoken with. No one is aware of any type of screening guideline to say, yes, as you age, get an MRI of the heart and of your abdomen.
To which Dr. Siegel on Fox says, this is a disgrace. We don't need to see Donald Trump passing cognitive tests. He does it every day. Here, play this clip.
So this is a disgrace because we don't need to see President Trump passing cognitive tests. As you just said, he passes one every single day, every single moment, going in and out of press conferences. I've never seen anything like it, actually.
Hey, Dr. Siegel, paging Dr. Siegel. It's Donald Trump who's out there every day talking about, I aced this cognitive exam, I aced that cognitive exam, okay? It's very weird that you're taking those cognitive exams over and over again. Now, talking about very weird, take a look at FBI Director Kash Patel, whose qualifications before being an FBI director had nothing ever to do with the FBI. He was a podcaster, a right-wing podcaster, whose whole shtick was release the Epstein files, and now he's part of the PPP, the Pedo Protection Program. And so Kash Patel is asked by Laura Ingraham, and she goes, we've heard these stories about like you taking the private jet paid for by the taxpayers to pick up your girlfriend and fly her around to different events and gallivant around this country. If a Democrat did this, I'd be mad, Kash. So, Kash, can you set the record straight? And Kash Patel's like, I should take the with his Kash eyes, I should take the private jet. I don't know if I should do the eye thing. He goes, I do take the private jet to pick up my girlfriend. Why wouldn't I? And Laura Ingram's like, ha 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 ha, so funny. I mean, could you imagine if a Democrat did this? And by the way, the previous FBI director, Christopher Wray, was a Republican. He was Trump's guy. They act like this guy was a Democrat. The guy's a Republican too. Here, play this clip.
The Democrats are also, Mr. Director, supposedly going to investigate your use of the FBI jet, because they're claiming you've commandeered it for personal joyrides, going to a wrestling event, I guess, for your girlfriend. Is that true? And if so, if the Biden team did something like that, if it was true, I'd probably be hitting them tonight on television. But I thought I'd give you a chance to respond to that drive-by.
Yeah. It's simple. The FBI director, all FBI directors are required users of the FBI plane. They don't let me fly commercially. But my predecessors wasted millions of dollars because they were too lazy to drive an extra 20 minutes and go to Andrews Air Force Base. They used DC Reagan National as their personal hub, costing the taxpayer $4 million. I shut that policy off and mandated the use of government airfields. I've also used the airplane less than my prior two predecessors. And yes, I'm entitled to a personal life just like my other agency had counterparts with their partners. So do I support my girlfriend? Absolutely. And do I take trips with her? Absolutely. But when they're talking about raid jackets and Velcro and FBI plane use, they are not talking about the facts, because they know this FBI is succeeding in ways prior leadership failed. And those cronies will always stick together and, of course, band together with their with their enemies to come in and attack us. And our mission here is to protect the American people.
Look, last minute shopping during the holidays is the worst. You're probably running out of ideas. The stores are packed and forget about finding parking. That's why Aura Frames has become my go-to last minute lifesaver. It's a gift that actually feels thoughtful and personal. I'll be honest, I typically struggle with ideas for what to buy for my family, my parents, my siblings, all of them. So I tend to put it off because I want something special, something memorable. And in my opinion, Aura Frames is the best gift for that. Here's why. Aura Frames lets you share photos or videos from any device and they'll instantly appear on the frame wherever it is in the world. It could be at your home, your office, or across the country, even across the world, wherever you want to share it. And the quality, it's incredible. Aura displays photos in true color and automatically adjusts to the light level of the room. At night, when you turn out the lights, the frame turns off too, saving energy and letting you sleep. And setup is ridiculously fast. It only takes about 2 minutes using the Aura app. You just download the app, connect to Wi-Fi, preload your photos before it ships, add a message, and then keep sharing photos and videos all year long. Every frame even comes in a premium gift box with no price tag, ready to gift. You can't wrap togetherness, but you can frame it. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code Meidas at checkout. That's AURA frames.com, promo code Meidas. MEIDAS. This deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
And then Laura Ingraham says, so one of the things that our viewers want to know, Cash, is, now you're all good with the Epstein files, you're releasing the files, but why'd you wait so long? Let me just fact check that there. Time out before showing Cash. They haven't released anything yet, okay? So stop spiking the football. And I want you to watch what Cash says, because what Cash outlines here is what the plan's going to be for not releasing the Epstein files. He's like, of course, we're putting out as much as we can that is, quote, lawful and not prohibited by court orders. You see what they're doing here? That's what they're going to say. We're not making it, we're not putting this stuff out because it's not lawful. Here, play this clip.
Mr. Director, our viewers also are just, they're chomping at the bit on why it took the Epstein files so long to be released. Any regrets there? Was that an unforced error? Just should we have gotten them out earlier? Just get them all out there? Just thought I'd give you a chance to react to that.
Yeah, look, this FBI has produced 40,000 pages of documents to Congress. To put that in comparison, Wray put out 13,000 in 7 years, and Comey put out 3,000. We're committed to transparency. We're putting out as much as we can that is lawful and that is not prohibited by court orders. And those are the things the DOJ is fighting still with judges in court to make sure we can reveal everything without breaking the law. And that's what we're committed to doing. We're doing it as fast as we can, and we're going to keep doing it, not just on this, but you know about Arctic Frost because of this FBI's discovery of the illegal surveillance of senators and staff. You know about Russiagate because of mine and Devin's work from back in day. And we're going to continue those investigations. And you bet we have ongoing criminal investigations on both those fronts. Because the guy who launched Russiagate, me, as a senior staffer back in House Intel, is now the director of the FBI. And I'm not going to end this mission without destroying and leveling the full weaponization that occurred before I got here.
But he and his podcast bud, Dan Bongino, who's the deputy FBI director, Kash Patel goes, when Dan and I got here, the FBI was a rudderless ship. We defanged the weaponization that corrupted it. These people are so weird. You defang the weaponization. Dude, you're a weirdo. You're flying around in a private jet, picking up your young girlfriend, traveling around to wrestling matches or whatever the hell y'all are doing, going to watch the race car driving in Vegas. The hell are you doing? Here, play this clip.
We're defending the homeland. When Dan and I got here, it was a rudderless ship. But we re-executed this mission. We defanged the weaponization that corrupted it. We jettisoned those like these anonymous sources in this reporting. And all they have to talk about is anonymous sources and jackets and leather patches. They can have that all day long. The mission of this FBI is to serve the American people. And we are doing it at a level that has never been done before because of the leadership we have here. And thanks to President Trump's sweeping victory that demanded this place be rid of weaponization and put it back on a course to prosecuting criminals, investigating criminals, and putting away terrorists. And that's what we are doing every single day here.
Now, you had, let's talk about what else was going on. You had Kayleigh McEnany talk about that disastrous cabinet meeting, and she was like, you know what? Republicans need to show up and talk about affordability. And Donald Trump talked about affordability at that cabinet meeting. What a great plan for Donald Trump talking about affordability. Here, play this clip.
So what do Republicans need to do?
Republicans need to show their work. And you saw that today with President Trump in the Oval Office cabinet meeting. You saw everyone speak, and you saw several of the cabinet members lay out their affordability plan. I've spoken to several, Doug Burgum, who says, I've unleashed 34 leases to drill. That's bringing down gas prices.
No, Kayleigh, you know what he said? He said affordability is a scam. Okay, they didn't lay out any plan. But do you see how Fox tries to propagandize? They do propagandize. Here's what Trump said about affordability. This was the plan. This was the plan. Here, play this clip right here.
When you talk about affordability, is going forward, are the American people, do you believe, getting impatient with the reforms that you're making? They've talked about it's about.
I think they're getting fake news from guys like you. Look, affordability is a hoax that was started by Democrats.
And then more lies from Kayleigh McEnany, and she's like, and Donald Trump brought down inflation to the 3% range. Actually, inflation's been going up. Inflation was high under former President Biden. We can get into why, but one of the main reasons why is that Donald Trump increased the United States debt by $8 to $9 trillion. The supply lines were destroyed as a result of COVID. And when the economy came back online in a post-COVID world, businesses had to raise prices, which I blame Trump for, but whatever it is, whatever you say, Biden's not the president anymore. The Inflation Reduction Act was bringing inflation down, right? And now it's going back up. That's just the reality of what was happening. And now inflation's going up because of Trump's trade war against the world. And when you say inflation was 9.1% under Biden and Trump brought it down to 3%, first off, that's not true. It's going up from where it was under Biden when Biden left. But it's 3% year over year. That means, you know, the year where you say it was incredibly high under Biden, which it was, it's now 3% higher than that year and the year before and the year before that. So if you want to look at the past 4 or 5 years, when Trump said he was going to reduce prices, the prices are actually up, 15 to 20%? Anyway, here's what Kayleigh McEnany said. Here, play this clip.
But you need to put these pieces together. The work that's been done on inflation. I mentioned gas prices, the fact that it was 9.1% inflation. Trump brought it down to the 3% range.
And then you had Jesse Waters almost like spiking the football that he claims, you know what, at the end of the day, Hegseth's not going to be held accountable. And that's a good thing. Nothing's going to come of these fact that war crimes were committed. Play this clip.
The frog shooting narco terrorists who it is not changing at all. Yeah, actually, once you let me talk, it's completely consistent. Okay. Now it's Admiral Bradley's fault, and I presume that he's getting lawyered up right now.
No. Prediction, nothing will come of this.
Yeah.
Kayleigh?
And then you have Kate Kamerick, a MAGA Republican congresswoman from Florida. And she says, you know, the problem with America, too many immigrants. 1 in 6 people came from foreign countries. Why would we want that? We're literally a country of immigrants. That's what the United States is, Kate Kamerick. Here, play this clip.
And it's pretty staggering when you take a step back and you realize that today, 1 in 6 people here in the United States is foreign born. 1 in 6. That, quite frankly, is not sustainable to maintain a culture that we are known for here in the United States. When you have people who, instead of assimilating into our culture, are opting to basically import their culture, many cases that culture is one of fraud and schemes and scams and violence, you erode the underfoot of what America is all about.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think here. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. 6 million subscribers. State regime media is so weird.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.